So again, good evening, everybody. Happy spring and welcome to the March 2026 CCAC membership meeting. This meeting will be posted later to our YouTube account, and you can always stay up to date on our upcoming events at buildersinstitute.org/events. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tim Foley. I'm the CEO of the Building and Realty Institute. I'm here just to lay a couple of quick ground rules before turning it over to the folks who will be running tonight's program. We will have a number of speakers who will be answering questions from the Associate Director of the BRI, Jeff Hanley. And then we will have time for questions from you as the audience at the very end. What I would like to suggest is the following. If you have a question and would like to be placed in the queue, the best way to do so would be to use the chat box on your Zoom toolbar and drop a note to me. You can either write the question there, at which point when we get to Q&A, I'll read it for you, or indicate that you have a question, and when we get to the appropriate time, I will take you off of mute. The second thing that you can do is to use the raise hand feature on your Zoom toolbar. Probably the least effective thing that you can do is wave at me. I may not be able to see you. We have a lot of people who are on this Zoom tonight. You can try it, but all bets are off in terms of your chances of success. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to the chair of the CCAC, Jane Curtis, for a welcome.
Thank you, Tim, and welcome everybody. We're so glad that you're here for this incredibly important topic that we're going to be examining with a panel of your peers about how to effectively deal with your managing agents. And that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm going to pass the mic on to Jeff Hanley, who will introduce the program and tonight's speakers.
Thank you, Jane, and thank you, Tim. Good evening to all. Thank you for joining us. As mentioned earlier, our meeting tonight will focus on how boards of directors of co-ops and condos should deal with their managing agents. We will utilize the same format that we use for the BRI's podcast series, Building Knowledge with the Building and Realty Institute. For those who don't know, the series can be found on Apple, Spotify, and buildersinstitute.org. Our panel members tonight are Roe Dentico, Gladys Bart-Williams, and Theresa Granza. Our panel members are members of the CCAC's Board of Directors. We have a lot of important content to cover, so we will get right to our discussion. Our first set of questions will fall under the heading of suggestions by those in the building and realty sector on how co-op and condo boards should manage their relationships with their respective managing agents. Roe Dentico, many in the building and realty sectors feel that boards of directors establishing clear written contractual duties for their managing agents is very, very important. Has your board done that, and for how long?
Yes, we have done that. We engaged our current property manager in April of 2022. Before that, we had the same manager for maybe 10 years, if not more. Our co-op has a mortgage and is required by the bank to retain an outside management company. We have a written contract with that company that is renewable every 3 years. Important contractual duties for a co-op to require of a managing agent include financial managing and reporting, regular property inspections, oversight of staff and repairs, payroll administration, and staff supervision. Financial responsibilities include collecting all shareholder fees, paying vendors, and preparing monthly financial reports for the board. The manager must also maintain open communication with shareholders who request repairs or report emergencies.
Thank you, Ro. Gladys Bart-Williams. The feelings of many in the building and realty sector call for boards of directors to maintain consistent communications with their managing agents. Please name the ways that your board of directors has established that practice.
Thank you, Jeff. I'll start by saying communication is the breath of a relationship. What happens when we stop talking? Let's build real connection. Our board does set expectations of our managing agents. Effective communication with management agents is key and requires setting clear expectation, ensuring transparency, consistent standards, and utilizing appropriate technology like emails. Other key factors should include defining goals, maintaining open and respectful dialogue, and ensuring documentation of important decisions to foster trust and minimize conflict. Our board has maintained that consistency very closely. There is very little miscommunication with our board and our management. Believe it or not, we have had our management agent for about 20 years. It works well because we have a very capable and reliable on-site manager. She works 4 days a week and 1 day from home. She handles everything and adhere to the needs of the residents in a timely manner and follow up emails to the board with daily happenings, confirming interview dates, dates of deliveries, noise complaints, any problems with the super and staff from the residents that needs immediate attention. You must define communication frequency through preferred channels. By that I mean email, phone, text, and emergency contact procedures early on. Ensuring both the board and management understands their respective roles to avoid misunderstandings. Prioritize transparency and openness. This is essential to prevent suspicion and build trust. Communication is effective, as I said, through channels, a mix of technology and personal interaction, such as web-based, often available through property management software, and direct telephone calls for urgent matters. Verbal interaction between boards and management agents is sometimes necessary. Responses should be received as soon as possible so the residents don't feel they are being ignored. Some questions required board and legal input. For maintaining strong, productive relationships, Regular, honest communication is the best way to prevent conflict and ensure a well-functioning community. I'll give the 5 effective communication to keep the relationship moving between the board and managing agent. Clarity, conciseness, credibility, connection, and consistency. The role of communication is successful property management in establishing open lines and utilizing technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Gladys. Theresa Granza, while conducting research for this meeting, I came across a common theme from those in the building and realty sectors. That theme is that boards of directors should enforce accountability from their managing agents for daily operations and repairs. In your opinions, what are the best ways for boards of directors to establish that accountability? And what does your board of directors do to maintain that accountability?
Well, I think what Gladys just said is extremely important. Establishing clear lines of communication with the managing agent, both at the corporate level and at the property manager level, goes a long way to making sure that things are working properly. Our board is very interactive with the managing agent. Our treasurer works directly with the people at the managing agent's office to determine what bills need to be paid, what shouldn't be paid, what the flow of cash is, and so forth. Our property manager is required to, on a weekly basis, submit a written report to the board so that we can see how he has interacted with not only shareholders, but with board members, with vendors, with getting bids for projects that we might have in the pipeline, and so forth. So it's extremely important, this question of communication, that communication lines be established. We are working now with the managing agent who is establishing a new system, which we are all currently learning how to use. It's available for our shareholders as well as the board to upload questions, to put in work orders, to pay our maintenance and other bills. And so keeping on top of them to make sure that everything that's input into the system is addressed is one way to make sure that things are going smoothly.
Thank you, Theresa. Let's move to our second set of questions for our panel members. The following questions are based on what many in the building and realty sectors feel are the key aspects of managing the board managing agent relationship. Roe Dentico, it is the feeling of many in the building and realty sector that regarding financial oversight, boards of directors must require from their managing agents timely, accurate, and transparent financial reports, ensuring that boards of directors have access to electronic records. Has your board of directors insisted on those oversight processes from your managing agent?
Our board has implemented measures to ensure transparency and accessibility of information. Several years ago, our current president established an online platform exclusively for board members. This secure site serves as a centralized repository, providing access to essential documents such as notices sent to shareholders, financial statements, monthly financial reports, meeting minutes, house rules, weekly updates, contracts, and any other relevant correspondence. We're committed to maintaining open lines of communication between the board and the management company. To supply this, we have instituted a policy that requires all correspondence to be shared with, at a minimum, both the president and vice president. This approach ensures that key leadership is always informed and able to address matters promptly and effectively.
Thank you, Ro. Ro, we have another question for you. This question addresses performance monitoring of managing agents by boards of directors. Many in the building and realty sectors feel that while managing agents handle daily operations, boards of directors should hold managing agents accountable for adhering to budgets and implementing capital projects. Has your building's board of directors established those monitoring processes? If so, please explain how. If not, what are the processes that your board of directors is utilizing?
Our board, under the leadership of the treasurer, but with access by all board members, receives a comprehensive set of financial reports each month. These reports are essential for maintaining transparency and effective oversight of the property's finances. Bank statements are provided monthly, ensuring the board can review all account activities and monitor balances. Check registers and monthly reports include copies of all checks issued and invoices paid during the month, allowing the board to track expenditures and verify those payments. An activity reconciliation report details all shareholder billings and payments, providing a clear overview of cash flows between shareholders and the co-op. The shareholder delinquency receivable aging report identifies overdue accounts and outstanding balances, supporting proactive management of receivables. An open payables report lists all unpaid obligations, helping the board manage upcoming financial commitments. A year-to-date general ledger offers a running summary of all transactions, giving board members a comprehensive financial snapshot to date. An income statement compared with the budget for both the current month and year-to-date enables the board to monitor adherence to financial plans and identify any variances. A balance sheet is provided, presenting the overall financial position of the co-op at any given point in time. To ensure proper management and oversight of capital projects, we maintain a dedicated bank account and separate accounting records specifically for those initiatives. This approach allows us to clearly distinguish capital project finances from ongoing operational expenses and provides greater transparency for the board and the shareholders. Although forecasting capital project costs can be challenging, we proactively address this uncertainty by transferring a predetermined annual amount from our operating budget. This transfer is intended to fund major improvements and ensure that resources are available when large projects arise. By setting aside these funds each year, we strengthen our ability to handle substantial enhancements to the property while maintaining financial stability. In summary, the board maintains, through oversight of the co-op's finances, by reviewing a comprehensive set of monthly reports, This process ensures transparency, accountability, and the effective management of financial activities for all board members. Thank you.
Thank you, Ro. The final question in our second set of questions is addressed to Gladys Bart-Williams and to Theresa Granza. The question deals with addressing poor performances by managing agents. Many in the building and realty sectors feel that, if it is necessary, boards of directors should request a new account representative from their managing agent company, or, if needed, move on to another managing agent company. How do you know when it is time to change an account representative, the managing agent company, or other professional advisors? Gladys, your thoughts first, and then Theresa, if you have any additional comments, we would love to hear them.
As I said before, our cooperative, our board has a very, very strong relationship with a managing agent. See, we haven't changed a managing agent in 20 years. So I can't tell you how long you should keep an agent, because I worked in the legal field, and from what I know, 10 years is a long time. But if nothing happens, no disputes, I don't see why the managing agent should be changed. Everything runs smoothly, get all the pertinent information we need as soon as possible when emails are received. So the communication is excellent. So I can't comment on what length of time you should have your agent, because ours is sustainable and has been around for quite a while, and we don't have that problems to change agents 2 years, 3 years. We don't need to. So I can't comment a lot on that question. Thank you.
Theresa, do you have any additional comments?
Yes.
Thank you.
In fact, our co-op has seen a change of 3 managing agents within the last 4 years. We had our original managing agent for 25 years. A new board came on and was unhappy with the performance of that particular managing agent. And so they sought a new managing agent who was hired, and a property manager was assigned to us. The board, after about 6 or 8 months, was not happy with the performance of that particular property manager, and we requested that a new property manager be assigned, which he was. Unfortunately, the personalities of our board are such that the managing agent was not happy with us and decided that they needed a change. And so they resigned as our managing agent, and we have just recently hired a new managing agent. So you see there's room for movement. It's the personalities of the board and the personality of the managing agent and the property manager in particular that is going to determine the success of the relationship. So it's important to keep on top of what both are doing, the managing agency itself and the property manager.
Thank you, Gladys, and thank you, Theresa, for your comprehensive reviews. Let's move to our third and final set of questions for our panel members. The questions deal with the suggestions of building and realty industry representatives on the best practices of boards of directors for producing productive partnerships with their respective managing agents. Theresa Granza, regarding providing clear directives to managing agents, how, via the board of directors, should managing agents handle specific issues such as unexpected repairs or common repairs? What processes has your board used in those areas?
Well, we pretty much talk to the property manager on a daily basis. And as I mentioned before, we now have this new system where work orders can be uploaded so that he is aware of any repairs or any requests from shareholders that need to be addressed. He then will contact the board for approval to do certain things if that's necessary, or he will go ahead and arrange for projects to be started and completed. So it's again, it's a matter of communication. That's key to all of the management of a co-op or any other business for that matter.
One final question for you, Theresa, please. Regarding focuses on maintenance, many in the building and realty sector feel that managing agents should regularly conduct and manage preventative maintenance routines in order to avoid costly deferred repairs. Is your board involved in that routine with its managing agent? If not, what are the processes does your board of directors use?
Yes, we are. And we have 7 members on our board, and each member has a particular interest in what goes on at the co-op. We have someone who is particularly interested in the physical appearance of the co-op, and he is in touch with the property manager almost on a daily basis. We have someone who is interested in other aspects of the management of the co-op, and so she is interested in doing things that help to maintain the property in the way we would like to see it maintained. So we are always in touch with the property manager to see that repairs are made if things happen. For example, if there's a major rainstorm and someone has a leak, we are always on top of that, or any other issue that comes up. And there are many issues of various kinds, so that we try to keep the shareholders happy.
Gladys Bart-Williams and Roe Dentico, do you have any comments on the questions that I just asked of Theresa Granza?
I don't have any questions, but I thought it was interesting that different people on the board are exclusive on particular concerns of the property. I thought that was very interesting.
Thank you, Ro. Gladys, any comments?
Yes, I might add that our treasurer and the president as well, they are on top of repairs. If we have any major repairs, they will connect with the managing agent, discuss it, and then the entire board will have a meeting to vote on whatever, on the money issue that's needed. So that's how we proceed, but the treasurer is backwards and forwards with the managing agent. As I said before, we have a very good relationship, and communication flows daily via email, and urgent matters requires phone calls, but exchange of emails is daily. It's a routine thing within our board and the management agent.
Thank you, panel members. Jane and Tim, we're ready now to move on to our Q&A session.
Fantastic. First of all, thank you, Jeff, and thank you, panelists, for your insights. We have quite a number of questions that are in the chat box right now, so I'm going to go through a number of them. There's still plenty of time to add your question into the chat box as well. So let's start with the first question. and it is specifically about property visits. What should an agent be discussing or looking for when doing weekly property visits?
Obviously, the property manager should be looking for any signs of need for repairs, any kinds of infractions of a house rule. For example, if people don't have who have air conditioners don't have braces under the air conditioning units, any signs of broken windows or things of that nature. You should also be meeting with the superintendent to find out what the superintendent has learned during the week of things that might be needed.
Next question. How often should a board meet in person with the principals of the management firm to establish what the board expects of the firm in dealing with staff, providing information reports as needed, and maintaining records on behalf with regard to repairs and contractors?
Do they mean with the principals of the managing agency?
I think that's the question, rather than just the individual managing agent actually talking to the principals of the firm to overall lay out expectations.
I think that's mainly done when you're signing a contract or actually negotiating a contract, because you should not be afraid to negotiate a contract with the management company. It's not a one-sided deal. So if you have needs that need to be met, they should be discussed at that point. I'm not sure that meeting with the principals is all that important in this day and age. If you have Zoom meetings with them or telephone conferences when needed, I think that's sufficient.
Roe and Gladys, any thoughts from you based on your experiences?
We seldom meet with the owner of our property management team, but when we need to, we reach out to him for specific items, and he is very amenable to answering us. And as long as the property manager is doing the job you need done, there's really, as Theresa said, no need to reach out to the owner of the management company.
That's, as I said before, we have the property manager on site. So she knows and sees everything going on. So we also have, if there is, for instance, if there is leaks, like presently we have leaks in the garages, and we have a construction meeting every Thursday morning, and the managing agent also attends that meeting. So we could have special meetings when there is a crisis. So that's how we operate. It's a little different.
There are a number of questions in the queue that sort of follow a general theme, which is what happens if there is a lack of follow through from the managing agent regarding XYZ? Could be regular updates on progress. It could be a request for information, a request for financial information. For whatever reason, the board has asked for something and not yet received it. What are the strategies that you've seen be successful in trying to break through that?
Well, as I mentioned, we're new with we have a new managing agent, so we haven't experienced any of that yet. With our previous managing agent, we didn't really experience it either. I mean, if we had a question or a concern, it was always addressed.
I think that's when you would go over your property manager's head and go to the owner of the firm and discuss what's going on and that you're not getting satisfactory answers to your requests and problems.
There's a question here. Do you do anything to streamline communication between the board and management? For example, is there a designated person on the board who is tasked with communicating with management?
We use our president and vice president so that we don't bury our project manager's inbox, and it seems to work. We like the fact that at least two people are in communication so that we know that it's open and available to be shared.
And our president is the main person that interacts with our property manager. As I mentioned before, also this new system that they are inputting has the ability for shareholders to upload information and questions and work orders into the system. So everybody has access to that information.
So that's a
Yes.
timely transition because one of the questions we got is, can we find out more about the various electronic record systems spoken about? And specifically, Theresa, they want to know if the system your management company is using is called Vantica or if it's another one.
It's Vantica. And I'm going to say it's not perfect. It's just being introduced. And I'm not going to say there weren't problems. There are. But I think in the long run, it will be advantageous for both us and the managing agent.
We've got another question here. Do any of your boards conduct spot checks or have an audit committee that visits the management firm to review their records on behalf of your co-op or condo?
Not us.
No, I don't believe we do, but we do get monthly reports, and if you have the bank reconciliation there, you're open to audit what they have sent you internally. And we do have a year-end financial audit done by an outside CPA firm.
I think that's pretty much required. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the bank requires that, but it does, it does give us
It doesn't give us any insight into the financials of the managing agent company itself, but I'm not sure that should be a concern of ours unless you're thinking that there's something funny going on.
well, as long as our money is being taken care of, and our bank is satisfied with our financials, I think that personally, our co-op is covered from the audit and from the fact that we do get robust monthly reports and are able to look through every transaction that occurs. I do think that gives us a comfort level.
Yeah, same kinds of.
There's a question here. Is there a list of duties for a manager available somewhere? As I recall, that is typically something that is contained within the contract. Is that your experience?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's why I say when you're negotiating that contract, you make sure everything that you want is in that contract. It's not just what the managing agent wants.
Do you have a perspective as to which responsibilities are best served by the managing agent and which ones by the board?
That's a hard question.
I think
I
that,
mean,
go ahead, Theresa.
I think that the board, the managing agent has knowledge that members of the board don't have. And so when it comes to, for example, soliciting bids for a project or things of that nature, that's within the purview of the managing agent. When it's issue of just day-to-day operations at the co-op, then the board members who live on premises can be useful in making sure that things get done. But for bigger, more important projects, I think that needs to be left to the property manager.
So that was a hard one. So here's an easy one. Can the speakers tell us how many units are in each of their co-ops?
We have 126.
We have 305.
And we have 102 garden apartments.
Yeah, we're garden apartments as well.
Here's another question. For any of you who are using electronic systems that board members have access, oh, sorry. Do any of the electronic systems that board members have access to require the board to pay a monthly fee to use it?
No,
Oh,
No.
no.
we wouldn't allow that.
Very good. There is a general question about, well, actually, let me go on. Does your co-op have a long-term capital plan to address aging equipment? If so, does the managing agent manage the project, or do you hire an outside project manager?
Again, that's an interesting question. We have a lot of old infrastructure, and we know that a lot of the boilers, for example, will need to be replaced over time. But that's only one problem. We have roofs that need to be replaced. We have doors that need to be replaced. So there needs to be a plan in place. Now, as I mentioned before, we are working with a new managing agent, and all of that needs now to be discussed with them and plans put in place for how to proceed for the future. Right now, we don't have a plan.
We use outside engineers when we have the big repairs to be done, the roof, the garages. Any big repairs are done by outside engineers. They come in, inspect, and give the board a report before decision is made on the money part.
I think where I am, we use both. We've used the managing agent to bring in vendors who have an expertise in particular areas, and we've also sought our own for major capital issues. We had to replace steps going up from the first floor to the third floor, and we brought in our own engineer who brought in his own subcontractor. So it depends on what's being done and the level of expertise that's actually needed.
We have another question. Should we expect our managing agent to assist with searching and securing vendors, as well as getting proposals and following up with vendors for work improvements to start and end on our property needs?
Absolutely.
Any disagreement or any additional details you want to provide? Or we're all getting nods on that one. That was another easy one. Do any co-op and condo boards conduct nope, I already read that one. Do some management firms have staff members who will act as contractor inspectors, not just leaving it to the super of the co-op condo to make certain that contractors have actually done the work properly?
Well, it's part of the property manager's job to make sure that whatever project is being done is done correctly and completed in the manner that was prescribed. So that's a given.
Yes.
So much.
I also believe that we have a lot of people on our property that have a lot of talent, and some of them are retired, and they're able to take the time with their expertise to go overlook a project that we're working on and report directly to the board based on their experience, what they see, so that we're getting this outside opinion to help us through the project.
We have another question here, which I swear to God is not a plant. Does your managing agent attend BRI, ACMA, and CCAC meetings to help them with their roles? Not a paid advertisement.
I think ours does. I'm pretty sure ours does.
I don't know. I would have to ask you that off camera.
Well, you can ask them directly too.
There you go.
That's true. I will.
Gladys, how about you?
I'm not too sure. I don't think they do.
And what do you, the viewers at home, think? Is it about time for your managing agent to attend future meetings of the BRI, ACMA, and the CCAC? If the answer is no, then please spare my feelings. And then I think we have one last question, which is, what is the difference between a project manager and a property manager?
A project manager is someone who is hired specifically to oversee a particular project. A property manager is the guy who comes around on a weekly basis or bi-weekly basis to check on what's going on at the co-op and to supervise the staff and to make sure everything is the way it should be.
Very good. So that concludes the questions that we have. I do want to give it to each of the panelists. If you have one last closing thought, now would be a good time to share it. And let's start with Gladys.
I think the managing agent, we should encourage them to attend meetings of CCSA. I think they need to join us at some point.
And closing thought from Roe.
My closing thought is that I'm going to find out if my management company belongs to the CCAC and recommend that they should. And I enjoyed this, and thank you for the opportunity to speak.
And finally, let's get one more closing thought from Theresa.
Well, I think what I would do is encourage everybody who works with the property manager to do everything you can in your power to help him, to ease his burden if you can, and that will help to make sure everything that he's responsible for gets done well.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you all. Thank you, Jeff, for moderating. We have a couple of announcements before we close out tonight. One of the events that we have coming up, speaking of managing agents, on Wednesday, April 22nd at 12 noon at Hotel MTK in Mount Kisco, we have our annual Advisory Council of Managing Agents membership meeting, which is a lunch. Networking starts at 12 noon. The main program begins at 12:45, and the event is free. Even if you are not yourself a managing agent, our official credo at the Building and Realty Institute is a member of one is a member of all, and you are welcome to attend if you are interested in the topic, which you may well be, because our topic will be what property managers must know about fire prevention and safety. And the primary goal is to inform managing agencies and boards of directors about the key aspects of fire prevention and response, outline how building management and staff can support the response efforts of fire departments, and explain how residents and staff can prepare for and respond to a fire situation. We have a superb panelist, nearly all of whom come from various fire departments throughout Westchester County, and a great moderator in Stuart Bethial, who's with the Greater New York Metro North chapter of the American Red Cross. That information is going to be on buildersinstitute.org/events. The other thing we want to mention is that we have a very, very special birthday coming up. And it's all of ours because the BRI is celebrating its 80th anniversary this year. We have a number of different events, including, but not limited to, a very, very big celebration on May 21st at the Mamaroneck Beach and Yacht Club for the BRI's 80th anniversary. Please watch your inbox for announcements. We, over the next few weeks, will be announcing the honorees. We will also be announcing our special keynote speaker. The other thing that we can mention is that we have a not of the ordinary master of ceremonies, Regina Jachico, who is a stand-up comedian, who is most famous for warming up the audience before episodes of The View will be on hand. So it's guaranteed to be not a stuffy affair. Without any other ado, I want to turn it over to Jane Curtis for a closing thought, and then we'll bid you all good night. Jane?
Thank you, Tim. I want to thank our panelists who are clearly experts in the field of board oversight of their properties. Thank you so much for all of your insights and your perspectives. And thanks to all of the attendees for your excellent questions. This has been highly educational, and I hope all of you take something valuable home that you've learned this evening. And so, unless there are further comments, we can say good night and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you and good night.